Shabbat Shalom, page 129, Ki Eshmera, Shabbat. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Ishmereni, Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Ishmereni, Oti Leomeyad, Beino Beini, Oti Leomeyad, Beino Beini. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Ishmereni, Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Ishmereni, Oti Leomeyad, Beino Beini, Oti Leomeyad, Beino Beini. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni. Let's try it. Ki Eshmera. Ready? 129. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni, Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereni, Oti Leomeyad, Beino Beini, Oti Leomeyad, Beino Beini.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's wonderful to be back together for a wonderful Shabbat. I hope you're enjoying the warm weather. It feels like winter might be over, but I doubt it. It's great to be together, whether we're here in person or, as I like to say, joining us through the magic of the internet. And we begin our Shabbat service, as we do every week, with our lighting of the candles and our singing of Kiddush. And for that, we turn to page 120. A quick note about your prayer books: if you aren't familiar with it, you may look down and see that there are two sets of page numbers. We're using the larger numbers in the brackets in the blue ink. And again, we're on page 120. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. And we join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And as we turn the page, we come to our blessing, sanctifying Shabbat, and the sweetness of this day.
Please rise if you are able. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho be'ava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
Be seated. Our Torah portion this week begins. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Wait, that's wrong. Sorry. Obviously, that's the opening of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. So sorry. Still, and regardless of how we may feel about the author, that opening passage is wonderfully insightful, and though seemingly unrelated, surprisingly relatable to the actual opening of our Torah portion. More on that in a moment. Our actual Torah portion this week, Chaye Sarah, opens, Vayehi Chaye Sarah mea shana ve'esrim shana ve'sheva shanim shnei Chaye Sarah. The life of Sarah was 100 year, 20 year, and 7 years. These are the years of Sarah's life. In other words, Sarah lived to be 127. But the phraseology of the Hebrew, which I tried to match in the awkward English, is far more complicated than this simple sum. Indeed, the repetition of the word year in the singular, and to me even more so, the repetition of the phrase Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, along with the standalone word years in the smichut or the construct state, is begging for interpretation. Now that was a lot, but the key thing is that the rabbis agree and readily abide to provide interpretation. So on the repetition of the phrase Chaye Sarah and the extra word shaneh, years, the great medieval commentator Rashi explains that this repetition indicates that all of Sarah's life, all the years of her life, were equally great. Okay, Rashi. Depending on how we interpret Rashi's interpretation, it is pretty unlikely that all of Sarah's years, all 127 of them, were absolutely fantastic. And it's equally unlikely that all of Sarah's years were absolutely terrible. Indeed, although we actually don't know too much about the life of our matriarch, we certainly know that there were some good moments, the birth of Isaac, and some bad moments, her struggles with infertility. And of course, there were things in between, perhaps moving to the land of Canaan or, the day-to-day tedium of it all. And, of course, we know that all of our lives are filled with good and bad, ups and downs, challenges and celebrations, sometimes separate and sometimes together. Some years, some moments may be better, and some years, some moments may be worse. And as the opening of A Tale of Two Cities reminds us, many times, many years, it's both, all at once. Indeed, this is the brilliance of that quote. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, the age of foolishness, the season of light, the season of darkness, the spring of hope, the winter of despair. While the paradoxical nature of this quote does capture the all too often truth of the human reality, of our existence of life, our experience of life, Dickens uses this to elevate the tension and illustrate the potential turmoil of the time. However, this is not the only way to look at things. It's not the only way to approach the cyclical nature of life and the rise and fall of our existence and our experience. And perhaps, the alternative is Rashi's point, the so-called equal goodness. Rather, this would be the value of equanimity. How many of you know what equanimity is? Oh, this is a tough one. Wonderful. I'm so excited to teach this. So equanimity is a challenging concept to understand and even harder to put into practice. Yet it is one of the essential spiritual efforts and guideposts of our tradition. In short, we might understand equanimity as perhaps balance, perhaps serenity, perhaps a calmness of spirit. But in reality, it's translated in many different ways by many different teachers, and especially there's no one Hebrew phrase that encapsulates the entirety of the concept. So let me give you a few teachings. Amongst the attributes of the divine, we describe God as erech apayim, slow to anger. One example. Likewise, Pirkei Avot suggests that for us, the pious person is one who is slow to anger and easy to appease when we're not. In a different yet related manner, Rabbi Chaim Smulevitz suggests it is the humble person who finds serenity. And similarly, Rabbi Simcha Zissel Ziv, the altar of Kelm, lauds that peace of mind is one of the greatest pleasures a person can have. And finally, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Leffen teaches that we ought to try to rise above events that are inconsequential. And specifically, he says, both good and bad. For they are not worth disturbing our calmness of soul. In this way, this is sort of the message of a really famous story, one of my favorites, King Solomon's magic ring. Now, I'm not going to tell the full version tonight, but it is a great story. I'm just going to do this, or try to do it in short form. A long time ago, at the height of his kingdom, King Solomon tasked one of his advisors to find a magic ring, one which makes the sad wearer happy and the happy wearer sad. For 6 months, the advisor searched the known world for this ring and came away completely empty. As the deadline approached, he returned to Jerusalem and on his way to the palace decided to walk through the markets, hoping against hope that a miracle might occur. And there he saw, in the middle of the market, a young boy working at a jewelry shop and decided on the off chance to ask. He said, "I am in search of a magic ring that makes the sad wearer happy and the happy wearer sad. Have you ever heard of such a thing?" With a smile, the boy ran to the back of the shop, and he came forward with a plain gold ring. He took a moment to engrave something on it and handed it to the advisor, who laughed with joy. That night at the palace, the advisor gave the ring to Solomon, who he himself laughed, for he had thought that he had given an impossible task. But on that ring, that plain gold ring, an ordinary gold ring, were 3 Hebrew words. Gam ze ya'avor. Gam ze ya'avor. This too shall pass. A magic ring indeed. Gam ze ya'avor. This too shall pass. In many ways, this is the essence of equanimity. Perhaps this is why all of Sarah's years were equally good. Not because everything that happened to her was good or bad, but that she approached life with this value. the midah of equanimity. In this way, goodness, happiness, contentment is not quite an emotion in the sense we usually think of it. It's not a reaction to external stimuli. Rather, it is an attitude, a value that arises from that state of equanimity. The modern teacher of Musar, of Jewish ethical living, Alan Mornis, defines equanimity as the inner balance that coexists with a world and an experience that accepts turbulence and even turmoil, because that's the way life is. In the Jewish view, he says, the goal of spiritual life is not to reach an enlightened state in which all the questions and conundrums of life are unknotted with finality, but rather to become more skilled at the process of living. He uses an extended metaphor to guide us in this endeavor, explaining that we should try to be like a surfer who rides the waves on an even keel, regardless of what is happening within and around him. Even as the waves are rising and falling, the calm soul rides the crest, staying upright, balanced, and moving in the direction the rider chooses. Equanimity, Morinus says, is a quality of being centered in yourself, though at the same time being exquisitely sensitive to the forces that are at work all around us. So how do we do this? How do we live with equanimity? Of course, there's no one way. If there were, it wouldn't be life. But tonight, I'll suggest just one. Shabbat. Celebrate it. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's going on in our world, no matter what's going on anywhere in existence, for a moment, let it go and just be. Enjoy creation, relax, and find something, almost anything. It really doesn't matter what it might be, and celebrate it. Make it significant for no other reason than that it is meaningful to you. Again, it doesn't matter what it is, just celebrate it. And if this is a little too abstract, if you're not sure what to do, then I'll give one more specific suggestion, specifically and especially on this Shabbat, with the beautiful weather that we're supposed to have today and tomorrow. Go outside. Go outside, be in, and reconnect with nature. In recommending a life of equanimity, Rabbi Abraham Isaac Cook taught that God created the soul of human beings upright, happy in life, and enjoying tranquility. Any time that a person directs their life to the life of nature, he says, to nature in general, they will find happiness and gladness of heart. The sound of the song of the birds from among the branches, the sight of the splendor of the flowers, the smell of the lilies, and every delightful fruit that is in this divine garden, the earth, that God gave to humanity. These are the creations that restore a person to nature. So when we can live with equanimity, when we can ride the waves of life and respond exquisitely to the forces of the divine, it will not matter if it is the best of times or the worst of times. Rather, all our years will then be equally good. As I taught before, Gam ze ya'avor, may this too pass as we embrace the calmness of our soul and the joy of life which comes with it. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so, and may this be for all of us truly a joyful, peaceful, and equanimous, and that is the correct adjective, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We turn now to page 138, and we'll join in welcoming Shabbat with the Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם משוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
And we remain standing as we turn to page 146 for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Page 149, we join together in our evening prayer of creation in the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night as heaven spans to infinity. You set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv arvim. And as we turn to page 150, we join in singing of God's love.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ופומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
And on page 152, we join in singing the watchword of our faith, Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Lai la 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 lai, ya la la lai, ya la 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 lai.
You may be seated as we link those words of the Shema or of the Ve'ahavta that we just sang to the continuation at the bottom of page 154. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. On page 157, we connect this love for God to our hope and our prayers for freedom as we read together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. And we sing that song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Adonai, who is like you, Adonai. When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
And as I spoke of the power of celebrating Shabbat, we turn to page 162 and remind ourselves of the enduring importance that Shabbat has played for us and for all the Israelites, all the Jews throughout time, as we sing Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Please rise as we turn to page 164 for our Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. And we turn in our prayer books to page 173. And as Rabbi Reinhardt spoke about equanimity and Shabbat, we'll join together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. And we turn to page 177, and we come to our prayer for gratitude. And we'll join together at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And lest you think I am skipping the prayer for peace, I'm merely passing it over right now, and we are going to come back to it because, of course, we need all the prayers of peace we can get. So do not worry, we will have it, but I'm going to pass over it for a moment. And we turn in our prayer books to page 377, where we'll join together in a prayer for the state of Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. And we turn our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers to those who are in need of healing. And if you are thinking of someone tonight who is in need of healing, be it a physical, spiritual, or emotional healing, I ask you please to rise. And together we will call their names aloud, sending their precious names towards the heavens with our prayers. You may be seated. We take all of those names into our hearts as we ask that God may swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit as we join together singing Mishaberach on page 371.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracha May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imoteinu Mekor HaBeracha Avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And we turn to page 178 and 179, and we take a moment to offer the prayers of our hearts.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Corey Wallace, and I'm one of the members of the UH Board of Trustees. Tomorrow at UH, Torah study, 8:45 a.m. in the Spielberg Chapel and on Zoom. Shabbat morning service and B'nai Mitzvah of Victoria and Marcus Tenzer at 10 a.m. in the Millstone Sanctuary and on live stream. Mazel tov to Victoria and Marcus on becoming B'nai Mitzvah. Upcoming events. This year, Jewish Book Month turns 100. The theme is Share Yourself, Share Your Story. If you would like to be part of it, you can let us know what you're reading and send a shelfie to Jen Newmark. Chai Society nominations are now open. Please send us names of those who dedicate their time and energy to strengthen our congregation by November 20th. You are invited to the UH annual meeting and election of board officers and board of trustees on Sunday, December 14th at 3 p.m. in the Spielberg Chapel. Please RSVP by December 8th. A reception will follow. Are you interested in an intergenerational Israel trip? If so, please reach out to Rabbi Rosenberg. These events, all services, programs, and more can be found in our Sunday e-blast, our digital bulletin, and our congregational calendar on our website. For additional information on upcoming classes and programs, please visit the UH website. As always, thank you to our tech team for making it possible for all of us to be together tonight virtually. Please check our website or call the office for gift shop hours. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Always interesting when Gen Z doesn't like the Gen X, like little, you didn't like the shelfie, sorry. If you have a favorite book that you're reading right now, take a picture of yourself in the book and send it to us. That way we're trying to share books, good books, and they don't have to be Jewish books, but they could be books by Jewish authors too. So it is Jewish Book Month, as you heard. We're celebrating everything books. We now turn, as we come towards the end of our service, to page 586, and if you are able, I ask you please to rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגר עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 591 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
And we turn in our prayer books to page 595. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone and every life finds purpose. This Shabbat, we are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Muriel E. Beckerman, Betty Nobler-Friedman, Penny Codner, David Andrew Lang, Dr. Dennis B. Winthrop, and Jerome Jerry Yaffe. This week, this Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits and we lovingly remember Mark Lawrence Alberstadt, Hyman A. Barnholtz, Arnold Abraham Bergson, Yetta Burke, Sean Lewis Birkin, Dr. Aaron M. Bernstein, Julius Bylock, William Block, Hattie Führer-Block, Gloria Blumrosen, Meyer Blumrosen, Ruth Fried Blumberg, Muriel Sissy Brody, Angelo A. Carnegie, Fanny Silverman Cohen, Rose Lux Cohn, Leona Rothberg Cosentino, Bernice B. Davis, Pamela Sue Essman, Bernadine Feldman, Joseph H. Feldman, Becky Fearman, Ben Fischel, Eli R. Fleischman, Arthur B. Friedman, Goldie Goldie, Louis Goldman, Lottie Golub, Barnett G. Goodman, Regina Ginsberger, Dora Holtzman, Haim Alvin Jacobs, J. Melvin Jacks, Nettie Kahn, Benjamin Kaufman, Michael Robert Keene, Elias Klebansky, Irving O. Kramer, Valerie Krause, Frida Krause, Kenneth W. Levy, Carol Lewis, Isaac Izzy Lipschitz, Lee W. Margulis, Molly Merrims, Jacob M. Moldavsky, Robert C. Moss, Irene Nieder, Sophia Packman, Louis Paskowitz, Hannah Pfeffer, Jacob Polinsky, William Quicksilver, Anna Reifler, Ina Rinskoff, Herman Rodenberg, Harry Sander, Nathan Sander, Pearl Sander, Frank S. Scallett, Edna Schenker, Henrietta Schneider, Janice Silverman, William W. Sokol, Leonard Spielberg, Marvin Stein, Louis M. Steinbach, Lillian B. Strauss, David W. Strauss, Emmanuel Euchman, Joe Weinschelbaum, Rose Werner, Lisa Ellen Yaffe, Ruben J. Zaid, Joseph Zuckerman. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise so that we may recognize the memory of your loved one. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. And I invite everyone now to please rise and stand with our mourners for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam molmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei Dukudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiram be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. And on this Shabbat of Chayei Sarah, this Shabbat where we think about equanimity, where we think about all of the things that happen in this world, and Gam Zeh Ya'avor, that this too shall pass, we end, of course, with a prayer for peace. Peace, equanimity, they go beautifully together on Shabbat. So we join together with Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimroma. Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.